Hey guys, this is Sundown Rider. This is going to be my chapter review to Nanatsu no Taizai 215 and 216. I missed chapter 215 somehow. I don't know how. It came out on the 21st and I just didn't notice it. There must have been like a few chapters that were released straight after it or a few days after it, and I just didn't notice it was out. So yeah, I'm gonna combine that review with this review because both chapters were pretty good. I mean, not much happened in the second chapter, but it was the ending was kind of hype, and then the first chapter was always going to be really good because Zeldaris and Dolo were going to fight. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Nanatsu no Taizai 215, Zeldaris the Executioner. So what do we learn? What do we see? The first thing we have is Diane versus Zeldaris. Gartha escapes in order to prevent or stop the Holy War. Zeldaris witnesses the dance of Dolo, which is like this weird, but it's actually not real. It's kind of really cool. It's like this. It's what Matrona was trying to teach Diane, and it's a battle dance which allows Dolo and giants to gather a massive amount of earth energy and just use that as magic. So we get that. It looks really awesome. I'm going to make it the thumbnail of this double chapter review. And yeah, I like that part. It was pretty cool. And I like that we got a name to it. Zeldaris seems very knowledgeable about it. And Zeldaris one-shots Dolo. He just kicks him straight in the chest. It penetrates quite far. I mean, if he tried to do it any further, I think he would have just popped a hole straight through Dolo's chest. So that's how he basically defeats Dolo. He just one-shots him, and that's why Dolo is probably so annoyed and so ashamed of his defeat. He literally just got one-shot. It was a one-punch man type of job. So he got wrecked. I apologize if the sun is kicking ass on this. Let me check how the camera looks. Yeah, it's putting up some dark spots, but it'll be alright. So yeah, Zeldaris one-shots Dolo. And while he does that, actually, he disables Dolo's he seals Dolo's ability to use magic. So Dolo kind of Diane tries to use Gaia form, I think it is, in Dolo's body, and she can't use it, and she's like, shit. And he's like, yeah, I've sealed your magic, but I'll return it to you. And this is what I like about the Ten Commandments for the most. Well, Zeldaris and Estarossa and those guys in particular, and stuff like Monspiet, they don't seem like evil guys. Zeldaris doesn't seem like a bad guy. He actually says to Dolo, he's like, yeah, I sealed your magic, but I'll give it back to you shortly once we're done talking and stuff, or once you've made your decision on the question I'm going to ask you. I'll give it back to you, don't worry about that. So he doesn't seem like he's an asswipe. He's just a demon, and everyone seems to hate demons in this manga. So Zeldaris then he doesn't confirm anything. He tells us who he is in terms of his relationship to the Demon King, and we already know that he's from the chapters we've already read about 20 chapters ago, that he's one of the sons of the Demon King, seeing as he's Meliodas' brother. But he says here that he is also the Demon King's representative. Now this is a very, very high honor for starters. He's the face of the Demon King outside of the demon realm. So he'll be the guy that's talking to all the other friggin' nations and all the other races. But also he's given the power of the Demon King to use at will. He is basically the freaking Demon King outside of the demon world. So that's a very privileged position, but it's also a very powerful position. This guy he's a beast. He one-shot freaking Dolo. I was so shocked about that. I was like, what? I thought there'd be more of a fight. I thought he was gonna get beat, but I thought it'd be a bit more bloody. So then Dolo is given a choice as Diane. Die or become a commandment. So this is where we already know what the outcome is. Dolo obviously chose to become a commandment, but there's a bit more meat put on the bones here. What's his name? Zeldaris. My God, man, Zeldaris. Yeah. So Zeldaris is. He talks about how both Gloxinia and Dolo are very storied individuals. Their feats have been heard of all the way down in the underworld, where all the demons reside, and he doesn't really want to just waste them and get it over and done with. What his story is he wants to ask them to join the Ten Commandments, which is what he did to Dolo here. And I assume what we didn't see and what actually did happen was he went to Gloxinia afterwards, and he was like, hey, yeah, can you join the Ten Commandments too? We can kick some ass. And he was like, okay. So in promise and in the promise of exchange for a higher power, they decided to join the Ten Commandments. And I'm not sure whether Dolo did it to fight Zeldaris again one day, or I don't know, but that's what he did. He did choose to become a commandment, and he says that again in this chapter. Instead of dying or running away was a big issue because the giants are a very violent race. They're not violent in the sense that they'll just pick fights. They're violent in the sense of once the fight's been picked, they won't run from a fight. So they're very courageous almost. So he'd rather die than run away, but instead of dying, he chose to become a commandment. So then we get a brief history of Dolo. We learn about his past. He's different to other giants. We already know this. He's larger. I didn't know he was blue-skinned, because obviously the manga's not in color. He has a magical eye. We already knew about this, which is the scarred over eye, I assume. And I think Hawk is now in possession of that eye. And he has 4 arms, which other giants don't. He was treated as a freak, and Diane kind of relates to this. She's like, yeah, I've been treated as a freak as well because I didn't enjoy fighting. I didn't enjoy war. I didn't enjoy violence. And all the other giants treated her as a bit weird, like, we're giants, that's what we do. So Zelrus then tells Dolo that he has no true friends, he has no real companion, and that's something the demons can relate to really well because they're treated as freaks and they're treated as monsters in the human realm, on Earth or whatever planet they're on. I assume it's Earth. So yeah, they're treated as freaks in that realm, so they can kind of relate to each other in that way. So then we don't get to see Diane make the choice. All we see is that she wakes up back in the present time where Dolo and Gloxinia are, where King has already awoken, and the fact that she woke up suggests very heavily, well, it shows that she passed the test. And they asked her how she passed the test. Dolo was like, all you could really do was either accept the invitation to become a commandment or die, either of which would have either killed you or time would have just continued on as normal, so you wouldn't have changed anything. So you were basically stuck. How did you come out? And she was like, oh yeah, I just ran away. I was like, what? Because Dolo's face here, he's just like, oh my god, you ran away. You got no. He was just so shocked. His face made that chapter. I was laughing my ass off. That was funny as hell. Because it didn't cross his mind once that he would ever run away. And obviously Diane, she thinks outside the box. She knows what's important. She was like, yeah, forget this shit, I'm running away. So then that chapter ends with her kissing and confessing her love to King, which it's been a long time coming, and I'm actually happy to see it finally happen, because usually you don't get, in mangas like this especially, you don't get that romance thing going on. And I'm not really a big fan of the romance, but I think in this manga it'll do really well to let it occur as the fights and stuff go on. So then we come on to the second chapter, where I have to kind of run through this real quick. I don't want this to be longer than freaking 10 minutes again. So as everyone thought, this is chapter 216, what's it called? Onwards to the Gathering of Sins. So we get a confirmation that Diane's memories were indeed returned by Galtha, as everyone thought when she was in Dolo's form. Galtha did say, yeah, I'm going to return your memories, here you go. So she's got her memories back again. She remembers everything about King, all the 200 years, 200 years prior, everything that happened then, and she remembers her love for King. So she confesses again, they kiss again, and she's like, yeah, I hope you love me back, which he does. So King then turns around to look at his back due to Diane prompting him. She's like, what the hell is wrong with your back? He turns around and he sees that he's in fact sprouting wings. He's sprouting wings and they're tiny as hell. It looks funny, and he's shocked, and he just remembers Glox's wings and he's instantly jealous, like, yo shit. But apparently they'll grow larger as they get time, so they'll grow larger with age. So yeah, I hope he gets some dope ass wings. I'm not sure if they'll be exactly the same as Glox's. I assume every fairy has different style wings, and I hope his ones look dope. They seem to already have a similar pattern to what Glox has in terms of the black outline, but that just might be a similar trait between all fairies. So we then see Gloxinia apologizing to Gerhard for his murdering of Ro, and for not even checking whether she was alive or dead because he was too afraid to actually find out if she was dead. So he didn't even check that, and he just went straight and became a commandment. So he apologizes to Gerhard. She accepts his apology. She's like, yeah, don't worry about it. It's all in the past. And she just seems to be more happy that he's actually alive than anything else. We then see, and we get this kind of, it was quite cool actually. We see Oslo, and Gloxinia kind of recognizes him from somewhere, and it seems that Oslo is a reincarnated Ro. I mean, the person that was in love with Gerhard. there's a part where Oslo is angered and his eye kind of becomes exactly like how Ro looks like. His eye looks like, and it looks like the Bon eye, you know, that kind of almost looks like they're wearing eyeliner, very sharpish eye. So we then see a flashback for Gloxinia, and he remembers that he heard someone's heart before he killed Ro, so it was Ro's heart, and it was Ro promising that he would protect Gerhard and everything precious to her upon his reincarnation, which seems to be a very common thing in this manga. Reincarnation is everywhere in this manga, so you can't really complain about it. It's just there. It's just an aspect of this manga. So yeah, Ro seems to be reincarnated in the form of Oslo, the wolfish, doggish thing that that King possesses. So Oslo protects Gerhard, and he protects Harlequin. He protects King. So then Glocks tells King that, yeah, don't worry about the Fairy King's forest. I'll take care of it. You guys go join the Seven Deadly Sins. So that was how the chapter ended. We see the Sins reuniting. We get this epic kind of Merlin saying that the King had foreseen another vision, and that the Seven Deadly Sins would reunite where they were once accused of killing the Great Holy Knight. And that's exactly what happens. They fly in through this portal. I assume it was through Oslo. And they just land on top of that building. Meliodas gets crushed by Diane's ass again. And yeah, so all the Seven Deadly Sins are reunited. It's going to be hype as hell now, because for Diane and King, this was all basically kind of... It wasn't a physical training. It was more a mental training. They needed to release themselves of all their mental blocks, of all the mental barriers they've put up in order to get stronger. Diane, it was all her lack of memory, her lack of knowledge about the giants, and just lack of knowledge about the dance and everything, which I assume she'll have gotten from Dolo. But with King, it was more about maturing all his attitude problems, all his he'd blame other people for things very, very prematurely without really knowing why they did it. So it was all that type of stuff, and now he sprouted his wings. He's seen what Gloxinia had to go through, and that's it for them. Basically, they're just going to get stronger and stronger now, and all the other Sins are kind of doing their thing as well. So they've done their thing. So they're all at their peak power now. I'm still waiting for Bond to get his holy item. Oh, I forgot what they called. You know, like Meliodas has his sword. I forgot what it's called. I forgot what all of their. It's like how Diane has her. Yo shit, I forgot all of their weapons names, but you know what I'm talking about, all their holy weapons. So the only issues this chapter had, it wasn't really issues, it's just minor things. People mentioned that Escanor wasn't in his day form at the end, you know, his muscly form. I just assume it was a solar eclipse. I mean, the moon was out at the same time as broad daylight, so we assume maybe a solar eclipse, but then it's not really broad daylight. I don't know. And the other thing I noticed was at the end, King was topless. And I think that just means he's going to go topless from now on. A lot like how Gloxinia is topless because of his large ass wings. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought of these chapters. I thought they were really cool. They were probably around about a 7.5, 8. The first chapter was really good. I like Diane's ability to just like not give a shit about her pride. She just ran away because she knew that was the right choice. That was probably the right choice. I like how Gloxinia apologized to Gerhard. And I like the interaction between King and Diane. And I like the fact that the Sins have now reunited and they're going to kick some ass. So it's going to be great. Let me know what you guys thought of these chapters. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I apologize for the late review, chapter 215. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit.